Thank you so much for joining me. We're in the south of France. I tried to go to a mic. The mic is done, closed, no mic. But fortunately, this gives me an opportunity to tell you about an awesome interview I did the other day with Paul Taylor. Paul Taylor is a brilliant stand-up comic. His show, Franglish, has been playing all over France, which is so cool and so awesome. I got to see it the other night. Also, he does a brilliant TV series with French Fried Comedy. It's available on YouTube and Canal Plus. And it's called What the Fuck, France? Check it out. The information is in the comments below. And here's the interview with Paul. So you just came off stage.
Yeah.
How'd it go?
It went really well. Yeah, it was fun. It was a good audience, pretty packed house. So it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
So tell me about your last year in comedy.
My last year.
What's this year been like for you?
This year's been it's been crazy in the sense that like I started doing my 1 hour show in January last year, so like a year and a half ago. But I signed with a producer. Like in France, they've got this whole system where you have a producer. I don't know what it's like in England or in the US, but you get a producer, and then she kind of helps like fill the rooms and gets contacts and like does that stuff. So that was in September last year, and then since then, like I performed like once a week in a small room of like 100 people, and then then I moved to 2 days a week at the beginning of 2017, and then now I'm kind of moving up again into slightly bigger rooms, which is great. And so people are coming to see the show, and I managed to go to like Australia and China and Hong Kong for the French people that live there because they like me as well. So
how long have you been doing stand-up?
It will be 5 years in January.
Wow.
So
that's pretty impressive.
Well, France is a weird thing. Like France it's like a cheat. You cheat when you come here because basically stand-up's like hasn't been around for that long here. So it's been around for like 10 years. So, and also because I'm foreign, I've got like a thing here where I guess other French people don't, where I can be like, hey, I'm English and I live in France and you're all a bit strange, which works kind of well. And I know there's people in the US and people in the UK that do that, like a German guy in the UK, there's a French guy and a bunch of English people in the US that have like managed to make their careers of being like the foreigner in country. So I guess I kind of cheated. And
tell me about your show, the current show you have.
It's a show that's in both languages, so I do half in French, half in English, and I kind of switch throughout the show. So there's bits that I do that only work in French and bits that I do that only work in English, but there's some bits, depending on the mix of the audience that I have, I can adapt some of the jokes into whichever language.
And what were you doing before doing the stand-up?
I used to work for Apple for 9 years. I worked for Apple as a first of all as a salesman in the stores, and then like a trainer, and then I started training people, and then I became like a global trainer. So it was like 9 years of a real career, and then I quit like 2 years ago. So I started doing stand-up at the same time, and then I quit after 2.5 years of doing stand-up.
Wow. So what happened to say I'll give up this job at Apple to pursue my dream? What happened?
I think what happened was I didn't want to get to like 60 years old and then regret not having tried doing it full time, because I started doing it as a hobby and it started going well in France, and I thought, oh, okay, this could actually turn into something, but I didn't want to get to like 65 years old and then regret not having tried it full time. So I thought, okay, now's the time to do it. I don't have any like financial obligations, I don't have a mortgage, I don't have kids, so like now's the time to do it, otherwise it'll be too late. So that's what I did. I quit and took it from there.
So what was your favorite part about being on stage tonight?
My favorite part about being on stage tonight was, it's a great question. I think the energy of the room was really good, so I didn't have to like over perform for like laughs, because sometimes if the room's a little colder and the people are laughing less, then I tend to sort of like over shout and over perform and over move and stuff like that to kind of pull the laughs out. But today it was really easy. They were really great, and I had Sarah who opened for me, and she did a great job of warming them up as well. So that was cool.
So there's a pretty international crowd. Is that pretty typical?
Yeah, normally I'd say there's about 90% French people, and then like 10% expats, people who are not from France but that live in France, that come to my show when I'm doing it in France. And then when I've done it abroad, like in Australia, it's still like 90% French people, and then 10% people who are married to French people who know stuff about France.
So in terms of English-speaking comedians coming here, what do you think? What type of time do they have with it? Do the French get it?
English comedians, it depends. It depends how. There's two things. One, sometimes it doesn't go very well because they either speak way too quickly, or there's like wordplay or like any sort of, I don't want to say clever comedy because that's like condescending, but like wordplay or specific references to things or shops or places or TV shows or things like that that French people might not know. Sometimes can not do very well. Like we've had big people come to like open mics in Paris and just die on their ass because they haven't adapted anything, or they've spoken too quickly, and you know it works really well in you know amongst other anglophones. But then there's also people who do adapt their stuff and who talk about being in France, and French people like that you talk about them. So anything like, hey, you know, I've noticed this about France, usually goes down pretty well.
And in terms of a following, so do you have a lot of following from the TV work that you've done?
Yeah, it's, I mean, less the TV work, more the YouTube stuff, in the sense that the TV show that I do is on YouTube, so not that many people watch it on TV, but when it's broadcast on YouTube afterwards, then we've had like hundreds of thousands of people that watch each video. So yeah, like the only reason that I'm able to perform in big rooms, I say big rooms, like 350 people is a small room compared to like 2,000. But for me, it's a big room, considering where I am in my career. But the only reason I can do that is because of the videos. People come and people come and watch the videos, and then they come and watch the stand-up show. So yeah.
Great. Is there anything you'd like to tell American comedians?
American comedians, you're welcome, but it's a finish for you. Chinese guy is coming to fuck you.
You said it all.
Thank you.
Proper French comedian.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks. Have a great night.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you so much for joining me. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Please leave a comment if there's something you'd like to see more of. And don't forget to click subscribe. Have a great night.